Is this a drum circle?
Yeah, I guess so.
You ever been to a drum circle, Dudley?
I've driven past one. They were wearing all types of colors and things jingling off of them. Had a couple of flowers and I don't want to appropriate their...
Are you downing my people?
No, I'm just saying they were doing a drum circle.
Hold on, is this like an Indian drum circle or like a hippie drum circle?
Feather, not dot.
Feather, not dot.
That type of Indian.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
My people.
Old wampum. Are you about to have a tear if I throw some trash in the ground?
You disrespected my mother.
Good morning, Bear Nation.
Grand rising, everyone.
It is raining outside, so we are at the FOB in Collins, Mississippi. Right, it's Collins, plural?
Yes.
Not Collins, Mississippi, until it stops raining, at which point we will assess what we're going to do for the day. In the meanwhile, we've been instructed to clean things. I don't know about everybody else, but my room is clean. So, check. Yeah, I made my bed. I kind of hid my dirty laundry a little bit in the corner. It's like, it's good. Rearrange the stuff on the top of my dresser. This is a really cool facility.
Yeah.
It
Like,
is.
Basketball court,
There's a track up top.
Oh,
or roller derby rink.
stage over here, big open clear span building, and then all these doors here are all bedrooms, but it's got a second story with this track all the way around here, and that's all bedrooms as well. Really cool facility, like purpose built for fobbing, which is awesome. There's a big kitchen right over there. Caleb, do you mind being on camera?
Sure.
You still single? No, he's not single.
Oh!
Okay. Can't have it, ladies. But behind Caleb, who's definitely not single now, there's a big old kitchen over there and showers, bathrooms, all that. So I guess today's show is brought to you by Grindstone Ministries and the awesome men and women that support Grindstone Ministries. Let's see. It is the 24th of March, 2025. Can you guys hear me? Are you like,
I can hear you.
Yes. Oh.
Here you took fun.
Iron Wolf can hear me. That's great.
Here too.
Oh, okay, good. The earbuds work? Cool. Loud and clear. Thank you. It's brief. You know what? I don't have any damn coffee. Hold on. Ooh, we're going to fix that.
Make it work.
Oh, it can't be a... I'm doing my job. It can't be a... Here, why don't you talk to them?
No.
Oh.
No, I can't.
I'll get you some.
And we can show off the coffee area.
The coffee area. So this is how you do this. You get one of these. These are really good. Now this is instant coffee, right? So you get one of these. And you do that. Rip it open.
Pour it in slow motion.
Ooh. Ah. That goes in the trash. Then you got your instant, and you come over here to this guy. You get some of this, swirl that around like that. So now we got some real mud, double dose. And then, let's see, we're out of heavy cream.
No, it's heavy cream in the fridge. Don't use that crap.
Okay.
That stuff is disgusting. See, it says kitchen. In the door. It was some in the door.
Beautiful. Thank you. Nancy doesn't want to be on camera. She's like, I didn't sign up for this. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
If this is not enough,
That'll
just
do.
let me know.
Breakfast sausage. All right. Probably shouldn't have hit go live yet, but we're here. We're doing it. Actually, delicious. Thank you. All right. We loaded up. Beef. We're back. Thank you. Fair Independent Brief, brought to us by Turkey Breakfast Sausage and GrindstoneMinistries.com. President Trump's administration has been locked in on an escalating conflict with the federal judiciary, which has been raising concerns about the balance of power between the different branches of government that form the very foundation of the Democratic Republic of the United States. In fact, the American constitutional system may actually be facing one of its most significant tests in recent memory. Can a district judge, question, can a district judge, should a district judge, be able to shut down the will of the people as executed through the executive branch by the highest executive in the land, the President of the United States of America? I think the answer to that's no. I think district judges have authorities in their district, but the federal government, that's thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's just thunderstorms, right?
That's right.
We're not-
Sometimes it seems like the rain's coming right up.
We're not going to get NATO'd.
No.
Okay.
Ryan Hall said the chances are very small.
All right.
Just blow it so far, they'll go away.
That's true. So,
Yeah.
I think a district judge's authority should be located in their district. What's up, fingernail?
It's okay.
Not to be executed on a state level. Better than snow. I'll take snow over tornadoes any day. It's easier to clean up. At the center of this brewing storm is a rather infamous series of executive orders issued by President Trump soon after taking office in January. These orders, covering areas from immigration to federal workforce management, have triggered more than 50 lawsuits in federal courts nationwide. Many judges have temporarily blocked these orders from taking effect, which in turn sets the stage for what would become a direct confrontation between executive power and judicial authority. One important event to note was when the administration appeared to ignore a federal judge's order regarding deportation flights carrying Venezuelan nationals. Judge James Boasberg has directed the government to halt these deportations under the Aliens Enemies Act of 1798. But flights continued. What's interesting and why Trump used the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 is that act and actions taken under that act have been explicitly shown by review from the Supreme Court of the United States of America to not require judicial review. There can be no judicial review for any actions taken under the Aliens Enemy Act of 1798. Meaning Judge Boasberg's opinion as a district judge on what is happening here has already been superseded previously by the federal Supreme Court of the United States of America, so Boasberg needs to sit down and shut up. My opinion. But I digress. The administration claims it did not deliberately defy the order from Boasberg, citing a distinction between verbal and written directives from the court. In response to these judicial roadblocks, President Trump called for Judge Boasberg's impeachment, labeling him a radical left lunatic, which appears to be true. Not everything Trump says is true. That appears to be true. Somebody's airing an air mattress.
Yeah, I
You hear it?
heard it. Yep.
It's either that or like inbound drone munitions. They kind of sound the same. I was like, hold on. Kitchen safe?
It's sink. It's the
Oh, that-
kitchen
Oh, it's a
sink.
kitchen sink.
That's what was
Okay.
whistling.
Stay focused. Bobby, I got 73 tabs open right now. 2 of them are playing music, and I don't know where it's coming from. I'll focus on the 73 tabs. Chris Hall, hello. Hello, Chris Hall. Are you the Chris Hall? All right. So, Trump called Judge Boasberg a radical left lunatic. This prompted a rare public rebuke from Chief Justice Roberts, who needs to mind his own damn business, who said, quote, "For more than 2 centuries, it's been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate process exists for that purpose," end quote. Also, no, there's a reason we have the ability to impeach people who issue bad orders, bad directives. because the normal appellate process can take years and be ineffective at expressing the will of the people. If you ask me, my opinion on the matter. Roberts is compromised, since Action Jackson. Hey, check this out. They're all compromised. They have to be compromised in order to get the job in the first place. That's how it works. Why do we not have the Epstein files yet? Because that's part of how they compromise people. So, there's some question as well. The Venezuelan nationals that were repatriated, Tren de Aragua, TDA, which we've been hearing a lot about lately. They're the new mean kids on the playground, right? So, Tren de Aragua, Trump has stated, has been directly tied to, they work on behalf of the Venezuelan government, which allows him to use the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 effectively. But now there's reporting coming from leaks at the CIA. How interesting that the CIA would be pushing back given the recent disclosure of the JFK files, which frankly weren't all that impressive. And the fact that we haven't had disclosure of the Epstein files yet because the CIA is leaking to the Washington Post, I believe it is, saying that there's no credible intelligence showing that Tren de Aragua is tied in with the nation state, the government of Venezuela. That's like saying that the cartels are not tied in with the government of Mexico. Of course they are. Maybe on paper there's a separation. It's like saying that Grindstone is in no way tied into Bear Independent. On paper, that's completely correct. One is a 501c3 not-for-profit. The other is a for-profit LLC.
The Spaghetti File.
Comma, Bear from the internet at Bear Independent is the president of the board of Grindstone Ministries. The media guy for Grindstone Ministries is also the media guy for Bear Independent.
That's me.
The administrative support specialist for Grindstone Ministries is also a part of the congregation that's led by Bear Independent. So on paper, they're two very different things. Liberty, hey, hey. Liberty, 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 liberty. So on paper, they're two very different things. Whoa, Ronnie Coleman works for Grindstone. Yeah, you didn't know? But they are, in fact, very enmeshed. Spaghettified is the technical term that we like to use. So, so it's interesting that the CIA is leaking to the Washington Post that an intelligence agency is leaking information counter to what the president is saying in order to perpetuate a narrative. Where have I seen this before? Also, I will say this again. I've said it many, many times, but I will say it again. We all understand, like, everybody's aware of, like, MK Ultra, the CIA did bad stuff, right? And it was Operation Northwoods, where they're basically shaping public opinion through information dissemination, right? Media, they have control of the media. Okay, and so everybody then says, well, I don't watch mainstream media anymore. Nobody watches CNN or MSNBC or Fox News anymore. I listen to podcasts and I look at X and Instagram and TikTok or whatever. Okay, cool. Look at the podcasters that are out there in the news and information space. Half of them, former agency. Half of them. And a whole bunch of those just blew up out of nowhere. As a guy who's been making content on YouTube for 7 years, it's 225,000 subscribers. One does not just blow up. Maybe they're way better than I am. That's possible. They're way better than I am. But I find it curious that all these former CIA intelligence officer people who have their podcasts, they come in out of nowhere, boom, within a year, They've got millions of subscribers, and if you listen to what they're talking about, just go look at the coverage of the JFK files and compare contrast what they talked about when they were forced to cover the release of the JFK files.
Sounds mighty similar.
Sounds mighty similar, and they dance around implications to the agency as much as possible. They 100% dance around implications to Mossad and Israel as much as possible. Nation state of Israel, not the people of Israel. That's a different conversation. So, would an intelligence agency push out narratives on social media and podcasts that are different than the truth? Of course they would, because people don't watch mainstream media anymore. And so, it's part of why, one of the myriad reasons why you need the Spirit for wisdom and discernment, so that when you hear something, you can tell whether or not it's true. It's a big deal. So, excuse me while I eat my breakfast. So, Chief Justice Roberts can pound sand. The White House has also taken other steps that suggest a hardening stance towards legal opposition. The presidential memo directed Attorney General Pam Bondi to refer partisan lawsuits to the White House and also recommend punitive actions against firms involved. This move could potentially create a mechanism for the administration to impose sanctions on law firms bringing cases against the government. Number one, it's interesting now that 4 weeks ago I said Pam Bondi sucks and she should resign, and the whole internet got very, very upset about that. And here we are a month later, where the whole internet is saying Pam Bondi sucks and she should resign. You're welcome. Called it. She sucks and she should resign. Remember the I have the Epstein files on my desk thing?
Ooh.
Remember that? They're going to be released. Instead of being released, they had their phase 1 release where they brought in a whole bunch of social media influencers and handed them binders for photo ops outside of the White House. And what was inside of those binders was nothing that hadn't already been released. And now the Department of Justice has 1,000 officers working on the FBI, Epstein files to locate all of the files so that they can then be gone through, redacted, for widespread dissemination. Wait a minute, I thought they were on your desk. You told me they were on your desk. In her first month in office, she had 52 mainstream media appearances. 52. And 0 people were arrested. 0. Do your job, lady. Or resign. She's a problem. She's also no friend of the Second Amendment. Don't like her at all. She needs to go. As far as there's a bunch of law firms that are losing their TSSCI, top secret clearances, because these lawyers in DC for decades past have had access, and sometimes special program access, to intelligence because of who they were representing and the entities that they were representing in Washington, D.C. Well, these law firms and attorneys, individual, they're scumbags. They're anti, from Trump's worldview, anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, anti-America. With the nuanced conversation of one should not misconstrue MAGA to mean America first, because it does not. In action, we've seen this already. There are a bunch of attorneys who are whack job liberal freak shows that have had top clearances because of the nature of the work that they do, that have also caused leaks and have also been actively working against MAGA and Trump for the last decade, since his first administration and his first candidacy. Those people are all getting their come on, brain. I gotta eat more sausage. They're having their clearances, thank you, clearances revoked. Good. There's a theory that the reason Trump released the JFK files first was that we, the populace, would come to the conclusion, based upon the JFK files, oh, nation state of Israel, not good. it sure looks like they killed a sitting president because he wouldn't play ball. And then, once the general populace wakes up to that concept, that will shift the Overton window of opinion of the nation-state of Israel far enough for him to then be able to release the Epstein files, which will further implicate the nation-state of Israel and Mossad and the CIA. Maybe, I think that requires a lot of faith. It sounds very much so like, trust the plan. Q's gonna do it, man. I just don't know about that. I just don't know. What's up, Jeremiah? So, several prominent legal experts have expressed alarm at these developments. Former conservative federal judge J. Michael Luttig said, quote, America is in a constitutional crisis. No shit. America's been in a constitutional crisis for my entire lifetime. You're older than me. How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
My lifetime too.
Okay.
That's a long time.
Yeah, you're older than dirt, man.
I went to school and we had rock tablets.
So, J. Michael Luttig says, we're in a constitutional crisis, and quote, the President of the United States has essentially declared war on the rule of law in America, end quote. All right, well, we know we have thousands of Obama judges, Soros judges. We know that the judicial branch is jacked. Should we clean house there? Yeah. Is that part of the whole drain the swamp thing? Probably. So back in the day, I worked with my wife, we remodeled houses, right? And some houses, the client comes to you and they say, hey, here's our budget, here's our timeline, this is what we want. And you're looking at the house, you say, you need to bulldoze this house and start over again. You're gonna put more money, more time, more effort into trying to rebuild this house than if we just smash it and start over. We're here on a grindstone deployment. How many houses around here have we seen like that? This place is wrecked. You can't rebuild it. It's wrecked. Just smash it to the ground, start over again. The smashing to the ground part is painful, and I get it. All the stuff that you love is inside of there. All of your things.
Well, sometimes it's a home that was, built by the homeowner 60 years ago.
Yeah.
How many memories with your wife and your children? And by the way, your wife is deceased.
Yep. Or
Right.
generational land around here.
Oh,
right?
all true.
Yep.
All true. Memories after memories, and you just can't break away and let it go.
But the house cannot stand anymore.
No, not even a little bit.
So we smash it,
Yeah.
which is painful. We smash it, we haul it off, and then you can build a new house.
Yeah.
Same land, same deed, same people, new house. Dare I say, new covenant from a national standpoint. So, I don't know if the rebuilding, making America great again, can be done surgically. Because surgically, the lawfare is going to come up. They're going to stop everything that Trump's trying to do in courts of law and wait him out until his second presidency is over. There's already talk, already chatter about, well, he'll run for a third term. Wait, what? I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you this. Eggs might be slightly cheaper than they were. Diesel fuel might be slightly cheaper than they were. The economy's not back on track. And I'll say it again. If we could have a whole of government effort on the economy, rather than all this other bullshit that we're engaged in, I think it would be genuinely good for the average American person. So, of course, man. Can I get a list of little things that are needed at the FOB? Campfire Chef? Absolutely. You can email Cindy at...
grindstoneministries.com.
Oh, it's just Cindy at grindstoneministries.com?
But it's C-I-N-D-I.
C-I-N-D-I at grindstoneministries.com. And in your email, just say, I would like a list of all the little things that are required at the FOB, and bless you, and thank you very
And
much.
we also have a needs list on Amazon.
We also have a needs list on Amazon. Beautiful. All right. Several prominent legal experts have expressed alarm at these developments. We talked about that. Georgetown law professor Stephen Vladeck noted, quote, an unprecedented degree of resistance on the part of the executive branch to adverse court rulings. Well, yeah, because he's not playing along anymore. In contrast, some administration allies have explicitly questioned judicial authority over presidential actions. For example, Vice President Vance stated that, quote, judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power. Correct. Which is a sentiment that is echoed by other Republican figures. Now, the judges of the Supreme Court can curtail executive power, but district judges cannot. District judges are outranked by the President of the United States of America. Yes, we have three co-equal branches, judicial, legislative, executive, right? And then we used to have the fourth branch, which was the media, but they're all bought and paid for anyway, so they don't function that way. And they are co-equal. They have the same weight. But there's hierarchies within those things. It's like, you know, we're here in Collins, Mississippi. Does a Collins, Mississippi local judge get to tell the president what to do based upon an executive order? No. No, he does not. So why a district judge? So. In contrast, some administration allies have explicitly questioned judicial authority over presidential actions. Well, we talked about that. As the courts become the primary battlefield for challenges to Trump's agenda, the administration appears confident that the conservative-led Supreme Court will ultimately back the president's expanded view of executive power. At the root of it all, the High Court's ruling last summer granting presidents broad immunity for official acts may be emboldening this approach in the first place. And that's the, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically the idea of like the primacy of the executive, which is a political theory that it's backed up in some part by the Supreme Court. But basically the president can do whatever he wants to do. Thanks, Campfire Chef, you rock. Only time will tell how exactly the dust will settle. However, changes to the balance of power, and therefore the operation of the foundational fabric of this country, will ultimately impact the common man. Now is the time to strengthen personal knowledge of constitutional principles and legal frameworks that protect individual rights, and consider joining or supporting organizations that defend constitutional liberties regardless of political affiliation. Now is also the time to consider joining grindstoneministries.com, because a bunch of dope-ass dudes and chicks out here doing awesome stuff on behalf of the Most High.
And if you can't volunteer, you can share the message. Go to Grindstone Ministries on YouTube or any of the other social media platforms. If you have financial means, you can donate. We also have Amazon list that's up there on allmylinks.com/Grindstone Ministries. You can help out. You can send stuff to us. You can send stuff to the different places where we have donation sites all over. There's so much that you can do, even if you can't make it here to be on the ground and be the hands and feet. You can do stuff from a distance. We're going to have online training classes that we can actually use crisis cleanup remotely to be able to get information and receive phone calls, so that everyone here isn't overwhelmed with the logistics of entering in all the information. You, as a volunteer remotely, can do plenty of stuff, and all that's getting rolled out slowly. So if anything, start at grindstoneministries.com. If you have any questions, email serve@grindstoneministries.com.
And follow them on socials. Well,
Yeah, all of that.
what's your favorite part of deployment thus far? Favorite thing, most impactful thing?
Witnessing the people. Yeah, and then also when nobody shows up and they're out there for days picking through their stuff by themselves, and then you get truckloads of people pull in to help, and they're like not sure at first, and then then they know that you're just there to help. You don't have any expectations, and they're just like relieved. You can see them relax. That's one of my favorite parts.
My favorite part of deployment thus far was all the equipment that Dudley broke yesterday.
The starter would not work. I went on lunch,
He broke
put the key in,
so much
turned
shit
it,
yesterday.
did not work.
He broke all he did. Like millions of dollars in equipment failures
Just cleaning
yesterday.
up after them all day. All day.
But that's one of our KPIs, key performance indicators for Grindstone.
Breaker of all.
Is broken shit. Because you don't break shit sitting still. And so, the more shit we break, the more stuff we're doing, which means we did a whole bunch of stuff yesterday, which is cool. Don't be a self-powered surge protector. Exactly. Tato, you want to? What's been your favorite deployment thus far?
Oh man.
That's a great question, because I've had a lot of opportunities to make some really significant, difficult cut, very technical. Had an opportunity to climb up into just a massive oak tree and make tension cuts so that we can actually tear it down with the 210 that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think probably the biggest factor for me is the opportunity to stand with the people who are affected and speak life and encouragement into them. Because you're talking about people who are just broken, you know, who spent a lifetime building and establishing infrastructure, and in a moment, 60 seconds, it's all gone.
Yep.
And encouraging them to see the reality that, you know, it's all stuff, and yeah, it's a terrible, crappy sandwich that they have to take a bite of, and they're oftentimes in paralysis by analysis, and they don't know where to start. And we're here to, you know, take that first bite of that sandwich, if you will, and help them out on such a tangible level and show the love of the Father. And by the time we're done, they see they see the love of the Father, and they're encouraged, and they have a new hope, if you will. You know, that's probably my favorite thing, having the opportunity to pray with these folks and reach the Father, you know, on their behalf.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything they want to share? No.
Still haven't got my selfie.
Still haven't got your selfie? What, you and me?
Yeah,
Okay.
fifth deployment, I still haven't.
Fifth deployment.
That's easy. You want it on your device, or do you want it for the world to see?
No.
See, if you want it for the world to see, boom, there, you got it. now just go back and take a screenshot. There's your selfie.
Oh, man.
Mississippi trip.
Okay. That's the show for today. I think you guys are picking up what we're about right now, doing grindstone stuff. The links to all the things that I'm not allowed to show for are down in the description. I do want to thank the patrons for being the economic engine of what we do here, because I would not be able to do this without you. And everybody else here, they're self-supporting, man. Like, these people take the time out of their lives to come out here and love their neighbor as themselves. And so keep the crew in prayer. Pray for these Christians in Syria that are being beheaded for their belief. We were talking about on Shabbat. I think the bravest person on planet Earth was the second guy who raised his hand when it started lopping heads off of believers. And they said, who else believes in Jesus the Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach? The second guy that raised his hand and said, do me next. Oh, to have faith like that guy, that's amazing. So keep them in prayer. Got any questions for medical stuff, reach out to Refuge. Got any questions for counter trafficking stuff, reach out to Caleb House. And hopefully here it stops raining, be it the Father's will, and we'll get back to business. So with that, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. What?
Tell them to go watch that next.
Oh, go watch the Grindstone YouTube, Grindstone Ministries YouTube channel, Mississippi Tornado Day 7. And they're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. They're at 7,300 right now, so I need 2,700 of y'all to go subscribe to Grindstone, please. And also, I put out a video yesterday, Deployment Life, so feel free to watch that as well. And with that, shalom.